How can we help?
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I just have a quick question with, I'm just in some debt, and I just feel like at the end of the month, at the end of paying everything, I just have no money for myself. And, I'm slowly paying it off and doing OT. It's not like I'm just doing my 40 and going home. It's just kind of like I'm putting in, 32 hours of OT every 2 weeks. And I just feel like I never have enough money.
Okay.
I just need some advice or some help.
Sure. Well, let's first start with asking you, what's your budgeting process like? Do you budget at all?
Yes, I actually did start last month. I took the whole month of June to kind of just see what I spend my money on, and I've noticed I spend a lot of money on food, like just eating out. And one good side about that, of doing that, is now I know I spend it on that, so now I'm like being more conscious about it.
So you've only done this 1 month. So let me start by saying, we've told people for decades, it takes about 90 days, 3 months or so to just figure this thing out. So give yourself some grace as you're heading into month 2. But what you're focusing on is, how much am I short? Do you have an idea how short you are right now at the end of the month?
I feel like, well, usually I'm never really short. It's just kind of like at the end, it's kind of just like I'll have like $200, $300, $400 to like for myself to like spend on whatever I want. And I usually just end up putting that in a savings and then kind of just like living with like $200.
Mm-hmm. So what do you know after your first month of budgeting where there's a lot of fat that you can trim off? We've already identified one, which is eating out. What else? Where else are you spending a lot of money that you don't need to spend it?
Probably going out as well. Just food, eating out at work, trying to find food, and then going out like on the weekend.
All right. What's the combined number that you spent last month? Just ballpark figure on going out and eating out.
From probably about, let's see, probably last month about like $600-700.
All right. So there's a $600 to $700 difference right there if you begin to cut that and you get disciplined. You understand what I'm saying? So now you want to cut back for a month in month number 2 of budgeting, and then look for other expenses that you can cut and go, okay, can I find, and I'm just making this up right now, but you've got it. Could I find an additional $1,000 a month?
Right.
Now, do you have any debt?
I do. So, I mean, it's kind of weird. So about a year ago, in a couple of days, I broke my ankle, and I was working as a manager of security, and then they laid me off. The contract ended. So they wanted to give me another job that was very less in payment. So they were offering me in the teens when I was getting up to close to 30. So I, decided just to take some time off and find a new job that wasn't in security. I found a new job, and then I broke my ankle. And then I was probably out of work for about 6-7 months. And then in that time, I amassed about, $12,000 in debt, and then another like $2,000 in credit card debt. So I reconsolidated the $12,000.
Okay, so the only debt you have is $12,000 that's been consolidated recently. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
And what's that payment?
Yeah, I have $12,000 in a consolidated loan, about $2,000 in credit card, and then I have a mortgage.
Okay, so you're familiar with our baby steps, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you on the? I know you're trying to budget, and the budgeting is a learning process while we're attacking the debt. So do you have $1,000 in your emergency fund? Baby step 1.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'll get paid, so I know I've done. So this, last week I did about 35 hours of overtime, so I can just pay off the credit card loan.
You're not answering my question, my friend. Baby step 1 is $1,000 in a savings account for an emergency. Do you have that right now?
Yes.
You have $1,000.
Yes.
In savings.
Yes.
Not more, just 1,000.
Yes, I have $1,000 in my savings account, and then I have my regular checkings account.
Okay. So the baby steps now, you've got baby step 1 done. Now we're taking the smallest debt you have, and we're going to attack that with everything you have. The budgeting process that we just walked through is to find as much money as possible that you can attack the debt snowball with. So the smallest debt is what you're going after next. And then when you knock that out, you take what you have been paying towards that and you put it towards the next one, and you just keep working through this process. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what's next for you.
Okay.
What do you do for a living, man?
I'm a ranger at the moment, so I work for Commonwealth.
A ranger.
Is that a park ranger?
Or a police officer?
Yeah. Park ranger.
Park ranger. Okay. Do you live on site? Do you live at a camp, or do you live at home?
No, I live at home. It's about 15 minutes away, so I take the public transportation. I don't own a car.
Oh, that's good news.
Okay. I was going to suggest you pick up a second and third job and begin figuring out ways, but you're working overtime so much. Here's what I think you got to do, man. You got to get radical. The way Dave says it is, I will not see the inside of a restaurant unless I work at one. I will not go on a date with somebody unless we are going for a walk in a beautiful Oregon park. I'm just not going to spend any money because I got to get out from under this debt so I can get my life back. You don't have a life right now, man. You're killing yourself working overtime just to stay afloat.
Right.
And we say it all the time, man, you're just worth more of a life than the one you're leading. And so, man, keep working overtime, but get this stuff out. You don't have a huge amount of debt. You do live in a state that takes a big chunk of your paycheck every time you bring some home, so that'll take a little bit longer than it might in another state. But, man, I would just keep hammering it and hammering it and hammering it and get it done.
Right. Because I know, I mean, like I said, I worked a whole bunch of overtime, and the credit card debt by tomorrow when I get paid, it's going to be done. So then the consolidated loan is what's next. And,
awesome.
Great. So So how quickly can you pay off that $12,000 if you give it everything you got by cutting all of your expenses that you can cut? I mean, you cut everything that you don't need. How quickly could you pay off the $12,000?
I mean, I did some math around it, and I think I can get it down. Hopefully, with the projected number I have about probably next summer.
Great.
No chance. You can get it done faster than that.
I absolutely agree, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work more. So I don't know if you're changing jobs.
You're talking about a year from now. You how much do you make?
I make about $50,000 for my job, and then I have an income home. So I have a rented home that I make about an extra $900 a month.
I would sell that rental home. You can't afford it. Can you sell that home?
Well, the mortgage is paid, and I actually make money from it.
Oh, so you own that home free and clear?
No, so I have a mortgage on it, but with the amount of money I get from it, I pay the mortgage plus I get payments towards me.
Right, but John was right.
What do
you can't afford it.
What do you do tomorrow if the air conditioner goes out? How are you going to pay for that?
That is where, when I broke my ankle, that was where one of the reasons I amassed a lot of debt.
All right, Mel, we're running out of time. Running out of time. I got to be quick. Sorry to interrupt, but it's on purpose. How much is that house worth right now if you sold it today?
About $360.
What do you owe on it?
About $230.
Sell that house today.
You're debt-free. You have a fully funded emergency fund, and you are starting to pay off your mortgage, brother. And you know what you'll do on Monday of next week? Sleep deeper than you've slept in years. Years. You still haven't recovered psychologically from breaking your ankle, and you're going to have to forgive yourself for the 7 months where it was really tough to get up and move around after that, and you just didn't work, and you stayed at home, and you dug yourself a hole. Let's clear that hole. You're on the right path now, brother. You're on the right path. Stay on the line. I'm going to send you Financial Peace University and Every Dollar app, the best app for taking care of your daily and monthly budget. Stay on the line. I'm going to give it to you as my gift to send you onto the right path. Sell that house, brother, and get free.